Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to Celestial Journey. So today we have kind of a more laid-back episode like we did before. The majority of people seem to really enjoy it. Before we get started though, there is a couple housekeeping things that I want to really quickly go over. First up, back in here, if you take a look, I had a suggestion by Isaka about adding Insight 3 to this. I did go ahead and do that. It gives us a little bit of XP boost, and it's still not enough to offset the essence that we are using to run it, but it does help out. So before too long, that essence shouldn't be an issue, but at the moment, it's still a small issue. I also had a really great suggestion about attractor arrays. I don't think about those. We do have some plans within the series coming up for different arrays that we're going to be using. But I did test the attractor array and it does not seem to work with divine RPG mobs. And overall, it's kind of buggy, kind of wonky in general with certain mobs. Sometimes it works great. Like I would place down like one array and it wouldn't work at all on anything. And then I would place down another one next to it, and like everything would come except for the Divine RPG mobs. So, sadly, I don't think I'll be able to use them. Maybe for certain rooms, you know, maybe like an Enderman room or something like that. It seems to work extremely well with Enderman, but it doesn't work with the majority of the mobs for us. Also, I did make a bound pickaxe. This thing has auto smelt, so we can easily gather up mass amounts of pitstone and mud bricks with smelting. Diamond pickaxe to get that one. So very cheap and very worth it. So my 3 different pickaxes I'm running here. And then lastly, over here we have I went ahead and made a clipboard. You guys are probably familiar with this if you've been around on the channel for very long. But if you're not, you can write things in here and save them for like to-do lists and things like that. So we've got our series rules, just things kind of for me to keep in mind and you guys to be kind of mindful of. Of course, we're only going with flex fields for power after our initial little single coal generator up to Britannia. No lazy setups, which means, like the Tinkerer's Construct smeltery room, as an alternative to just, here's a redstone furnace, here's a pulverizer, we're done. We did that. And it was a lot more fun to do that. So we're going to try to avoid lazy setups. Also, no tesseracts or etc. unless needed for performance reasons. And that includes mana tesseracts. So I don't want to move, specifically power and mana are the 2 big ones. Because of course we have nodes, we can move fluids and items long distances without issue. But it's more for power and mana. I'd like to actually move it across the base instead of just teleporting it across the base. Because that's kind of not terribly exciting. So unless for performance reasons, that means like if we need to set up a Britannia area off-site due to, it's just too much FPS issues or something like that, then we can do that. But I'm going to try to avoid that at all costs. But unless it just have to have it. And then lastly, focus on alternative methods where possible. That is things like, for example, we use the attractor obelisk. Even though we're trying to avoid a lot of power stuff, attractor obelisk is a whole lot more fun to use than fans. Now, if we could have used alchemy arrays, that would have been even better. But we couldn't really. So, at least not for all the rooms. So, and then over here we have a progress to-do list, like a progression to-do list. We'll also probably have a building to-do list, but right now the things that I'm really kind of focusing in on, and I'm probably forgetting a couple things, like I just woke up not too long ago. But life essence automation, blood alchemy automation, latex processing, main sorting system. We need to push into runes, and that is Britannia runes. Elven Gateway, make a Gaia Arena, automate the Wither, Between Lands Farms, which we might, if we have time, we might start into that today in this episode, because it's kind of a side project. And then we need a quarry. And I don't mean a quarry for material or for metals. I mean for Between Lands materials. So that's what that's there for. So just a heads up on those little things. And then, oh, by the way, this is framing furniture paneler. So just a heads up. And I got an Enderman trophy. And just a couple quick build updates. First up, if we come through, I have expanded this out. I did all the easy work. I haven't started into the harder work, which is really the rooms. They just take more time. But I did make these little statues. And these are actually using a skin on a character by the name of Lovecraft. But I was kind of playing around with skins and trying to find something, because I want like a generic jailer that kind of works this jail. We will still have some of you guys as player skins in here. Actually, that room up there is going to have a player skin. But I wanted some kind of jailers here that kind of fit the theme and look of the build. And so we've got a couple. That one has decided to replace his skin with Steve at the moment. So we have Steve is patrolling this area. Maybe he's like on a mission. He's going to take him out. But I did go ahead and bring this build through, except for the side rooms, the little tiles work, and a lot of the detail work. This bridge does have it, though. And then in addition, Unhook, who is, might I say, wonderful, he made my day, basically. I didn't realize it was there until I happened to search to double check. I knew we could craft name tags, but I remember it was going to be a little bit. And Unhook has added a recipe for the name tags. So if you take a look here, just like that. Not too bad. And quite reasonable and makes sense and everything. So he has added a recipe for the name tag. So we now have a Forsaken one in here. And it's our very first just ambience prisoner that we've got. And I love the way that the hags, their noises are. Oh, and I did get a rainbow soul. I'm not going to summon it right now, but if you watched my Divine Journey series, you're probably familiar with them. They're the big moths that like sparkle rainbow particles and go whoo like that. I did catch one. It was flying around here, and actually there was another one. It was the second one that I had spawned in the entire game, and they've both been in this room since I've been working in here. But the first one that spawned actually flew into braziers. And when I noticed it, I went over to try to catch it, and it was like just flying around on fire. And I guess it had been out for a little bit. But I didn't hear it because I had music playing. And I ran over to try to capture it, but it died before I could get over there. So, yeah. But anyways, another one did end up spawning, and I captured it. And I think that covers it for some housekeeping stuff, series-related housekeeping stuff. So the rest of this episode, of course, is going to be laid back, building-related. We actually have a ton of stuff I want to do in these episodes. The big things being Between Lands farming. I want to work on some build stuff and walk through it with you guys and work it out. And then Little Tile's door on that. Depending, we probably won't get all that done in this episode, but we will at least get a start on it. I really enjoy these kind of laid back kind of episodes, to be perfectly honest. So what we're going to do first and foremost, because I need to scale this room up and down, basically copying out this build in both directions, because like right now it's pretty cool walking into this room, but all this stone and stuff that's visible is kind of horrendous. So what we're going to do, I think I'm going to start by going, well, actually it might be best just to go up and down. Let me go ahead and just remove this. And we're going to start out framing it with a little bit of cobble, and then we will come back through with pitstone. I've got a bit of pitstone stockpiled right now, smooth pitstone. Also, one change I did here, these used to be wedges, if you recall, and I was actually on the Between Lands Moss Lounge, and I posted a couple videos to, pictures into the Moss Lounge, and then I noticed that I don't really like the wedges, so I ended up going with the arch diameter 4s on that, just to kind of get that rounded effect, and I think it's going to make this room look a bit better. Those wedges were just kind of so I did change that over. But here's what I'm thinking. So I want stairs going up and stairs going down. Now this won't be the most convenient travel system. I'm not going to have elevators, shoop elevators or anything like that in here. We're actually going to use stairs. Of course, long term we'll have flight. And what I'm thinking is right here is going to go downwards, and then right over there is going to go upwards. And as far as the bridges going across, I don't think they will be on every level, because I want some kind of variation when you're looking down on the prison. But I think this level and maybe one more will have the bridges that kind of go across. I think is what I'm planning on. So right here, this will go up, and I think, is that what I want to do? Let me think. Do I want it to go up, which would be convenient for getting to like a scenic point to kind of overlook it. But part of me also thinks down would be best on this side. I'm probably overthinking it, but yeah, I think we're going to go up here and down over there. So you'll come down over to this side, like below us, and then you'll go back around and go back down and so on. And then the back end of the prison, we're not going to have stairs on it, but we might have a couple things, but no stairs, I don't think. Unless we do like kind of like stairs inside the rooms, kind of like how it was in Irithyll Dungeon. I don't know. We shall see. But anyways, what I'm going to do, I'm going to plot out and kind of figure out exactly, because we need to go over to there, and we're going to have to figure out how we want to do those ridges so I know how much distance that we're going to need. I mean, realistically, we could probably just do it with like 3. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we are going to use stairs. I don't want to use slabs on here. I don't think they'll fit as well. 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't like that, because I've kind of got a plan for both directions at the same time. And then if we did like up to there, and then we brought it out, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe did like another up 2, just so we kind of have like this gradual incline, and then 3, 4, 5, up 2, or if we did up 3 on that one. No, I tell you what we're gonna do. Let me. And then 3. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah. I think that would work out fairly well for us, I think. And then I could just mirror it on this side then. No, maybe. Let me go ahead and remove all this. I think I want to change my mind again. I figure we'd figure this out on camera, because this is actually, it would help me out to have this done, to be honest. I've been waiting all day to like do this. 4. 4, and then like that, and that would put us 2, 3, yeah, something like that, I think. And 1, 2, 3, yeah, there we go. Okay, I think I figured out. It can take too long, but I think this will work out. So if we had it set up like that, I think that should work. And then we would have 3 wide on these. So you basically come out and make sure that's going to work out well for us. Oh, you know what? This actually has to come with 1 more, in fact. Man. Okay. Okay, so in that case, what if I did... I think I'm going to do the steeper parts on these sides, and then do the middle as just like 2, maybe? And so then, that's going to put the floor up here. Which will give us the space to have the ceilings below how I've got them on the other side, which I quite like. And then, yeah, I think that'll work. And then we'll end up with something like that, kind of leading up to the next floor. And I think I can work with that. And then over here it would be, I just basically have to mimic this. Actually, probably be easier to mimic it from this side. And if we make sure and keep these 1 block thick like this, we can judge this just by looking up. So, yeah, so it would come down to here. And then it would basically go over, and this would be the floor we're wanting to get to. So, and that would be kind of, we're going to have stairs, but that would be kind of the way it looks. Because we need a pretty good vertical distance. So doing stairs with like big... big, like, block height floors like this. We want to avoid just having a big wall of stairs, right? That you just go up all the floor or all the blocks at once. So doing this like gradual incline, I think is going to work out a bit better, be a little bit more natural, because we have a fairly wide gap we have to span here. So I think, I mean, we'll have to implement it and see. But I think that's going to be good for us. Let me get some of this. Yeah. I've probably got some stairs lying around, but we'll just snag these up. And then we're going to have this 3 wide. So, and it would basically run like this. Yeah, I think that'll work. We could do an even more gradual incline, but I think once this is all spruced up, it's gonna work out well for us. Okay, that doesn't go there. And that, I'll keep putting them on this last slot. But my goal is to have this prison like pretty well done, not including all the spawners and things like that, of course, but have this prison pretty well done as far as just the layout by the time the first world upload hits. This will be like our first kind of big focusless down type build for the series. So, like, to where it's just like it's done, because the prison's actually a fairly easy build. It's a very cheap build, and it doesn't have a lot of connecting places. Because once you come to the prison, that's the majority of the area. I think I might have a couple things that connect over at the bottom floor or something, but I'm not for sure yet. I'm not for sure about that. Oh, and one thing I do want to show you, let me finish putting these out, but one thing I do want to show you, because the worm pillars don't have both orientations, I had to kind of do a little workaround, and I think it works out okay. I mean, if you really focus on it, you're like, hey, that's different. But I think it pretty well works out for us. I don't know why I'm so worried about collecting cobblestone. I only have, like, tons of the stuff. But if we come down here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because we've got, like, these worm pillars that kind of come up through there. Oh, by the way, and that's how I did the bridges. And it almost makes it kind of serpentine, I think, with the way it's laid out, which works out well, I think. A little bit different to look at for sure. But over here, I had to adjust because I don't have worm pillars that run, east to west. Because they would basically be, this block all the way down through. So I did carve mud brick edges here that come across, and then I did the worm pillar caps where that meets. And I don't know, I find it to kind of work. Even though I know it's there, it actually still kind of works for me. But you have to let me know down in the comments what you think. But I think that's about the best I could do in that situation. So, but anyways, back over to our stairs. That's what we're looking at, like from a distance. And of course, I'm going to clean up the cobblestone on the bottom here. But I really think that's going to work for us. Let's start with those, because then it's just a process of running this down through with the between stone. Oh, and I can confirm cave crawlers will spawn on between stone, mud bricks. Like, they just don't care. So, we are going to have to deal with those. Also, the crabs will spawn regardless. I've noticed they don't seem to spawn as often, but I did have one spawn in our mob spawning area, like a cave crawler. So I've got a little bit of octane in that system at the moment, which isn't a bad thing, but of course I don't want them spawning in the prison. I want to actually be able to AFK in my base and it not kill me to do so. So we will be dealing with the DRPG mobs, but it's actually fairly easy. We're going to use one of two different obelisks that we could use from Indorado. I'm not sure which one just yet, but we can either have the spawns moved to a location where we then kill them, basically creating a mob spawner, like a free mob spawner. I know that's what Isaka's doing, because we were discussing it on the Discord the other day. But I know that's what they're doing. I don't know. That's probably what we'll do, but I gotta see if that's what I want to do. Basically. But then we could also just completely block the spawns with obelisks. Pretty much be a Magnum Torch obelisk at that point. But I don't know. Because I don't plan on doing a Cursed Earth farm. But I know Isaka said with the DRPG mobs and everything, doing the spawn teleportation obelisk almost makes it pretty much like a Cursed Earth farm without, being a Cursed Earth farm. So, I don't know. I'm not sure which one we'll go with. Probably move the spawns as long as it doesn't cause any issues with our spawners. I think that's the biggest thing. So, okay, I need to bring this just over in here. And then we can say that we've got the stairs laid out. And so then what I have to do is, except we haven't finished. Okay. And then all I have to do is basically take this design upstairs, take this design downstairs, and then I can figure out exactly how many floors we're going to end up having. And honestly, like, I think this is going to be pretty epic once it's done. I really do. I'm really excited because it's not a super difficult build, but I think there's enough little details in it to where, like, from a distance when you're looking down and you see all this, it's just like, it really pops. It looks like, I think, like a prison. It has that feel to it. It's really, the parts that are actually done look very, I don't know, almost depressing. Which is kind of what we're going for. And of course we got to get rid of the torches on the top, so, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. Now what I want to do, just really quick, is let me figure out, I think if I did it from here, and then I've got to do the railings, of course, but we'll get the railings here in just a second. I just figure this would be a good build for us to just kind of work through today. Because it's very vital that I get this done like as soon as possible. But like I said, I've been waiting all day to do this on camera with you guys. So I've just been kind of doing like odds and ends, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go sleep for a little bit. Just basically getting a time where I can easily record during the day and everything. Nobody outside mowing and all that mess. Oh, and one thing I do need to add to... Let's grab this. And let's add in berry harvesters. Because we're going to be doing stuff with essence berries, and we're also going to be doing stuff with our ore berries. So I need to add those in. Alright. So we've got this kind of dug back. Now what I've got to figure out at this point is how this is going to lay out with the rails. Because I need to, basically I need to mimic, let me go get some more pitstone. I'm going to run out really quick. And just get, yeah, let's just go ahead and get all this. I got to go farm more of this soon. I think I still have some more upstairs, but I don't know how much. So this, we're going to have to mimic the design below, right? Because it's going to be basically the same thing on each floor. Minus some small detail things and then the decor stuff. But so this is pushed back one block, basically from this ridge. So it's going to be setting about right in here. And then it pretty much just runs right back. So kind of to figure out where we're at. And this is, I mean, this is really like one of the last things. This and finishing up the stairs and doing that sidewall. It's really like the last things I need to figure out to know how to build this entire build. Which is great. What I'm thinking is we could... Technically I could wedge the tops, but I'm trying to avoid just a mass amount of architecture blocks because as you guys know, using those can create a little bit of lag when used a lot. And if I was to put wedges all the way down through there, granted it would look good, but you're talking about a lot of wedge blocks by the time we do like 5 of these floors. I just don't think it's a good idea to do that. So I will say that this is going to come out with the pitstone there. And then I've got to do the underbelly of this. But what I'm thinking is, oh man, you're going to be in the way. But I know we can't really get rid of that either. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take all this copper. I've been mining certain things, and then sometimes I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. But I'll go ahead and take that stuff. I should be mining everything, but sometimes I just feel lazy and don't. So that would be about the height, and then, you know, start another floor up there. Oh, and this side here, basically what we need to do is just bring this out. Oh, where did you even manage to spawn from? We need to bring this out like that, I think. And then we could have the railings come out. Because there's going to be rails there, right? They could just come out here instead of going straight across. And I think that would work out pretty well for us. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Oh, but I don't know. Technically, I could do some Architecture Craft rails. They work so much better with stairs. So that's an option. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I've got to do the rest of these rails. But trying to figure out this section up here. What to do, because we got these worm pillars, so I can't, unless I played on that, because they're kind of coming across the roof like supports almost. So if I played on that and had them kind of come out, actually I might just have an idea. Let's see. Let's do, oh, but that's gonna be mud brick tiles there. It's just I haven't done them because they're expensive on mud. I haven't got those all the way ran through. This one here would not be visible. And these here would be visible. Not visible, not visible, and then visible. Okay. Yeah, I think the staircase actually works. Like, I keep running over it and I'm like, yeah, I think this will work out good. Let me think for just a second. There's a couple things I could do, but I don't think that I want the mud brick tiles visible. So I mean, we could, well, they're on the other side, but we could always close that up so it's not visible with, say, little tiles. That would work. And actually, yeah, I would need to do one layer of little tiles for what I was thinking for these. Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Let's get some worm pillar caps real quick. Let me go ahead and get a few more. I think if we had these come out, right, like that. Oops, no. Ah. Let's see. Couldn't find my little tiles bag. But it's not a big deal. With little tiles, it doesn't really matter if you have your bag or not. Unless you're doing like a big project. So what we can do, let's see, set a box. If I ran this over, just like that, and I may not leave it just as caps. That, and maybe, let's do, what if I did these? But you can see with little tiles, it just takes a block and cuts it down. What if we did... Oh, these are awkward to place. I'm bad about not making an architect's hammer because I can just do orientation and not have to carry another tool on me. That's sometimes a little bit awkward to do. If we did it like that, maybe. Let's see, from a distance... I think that kind of works out because it's not as chunky as like a full block. Or let me try something here real quick. Let me get let's see, let me get some of these. Let me get some of these. This is what we're using for the roof. What if I... Let's just remove these for a second. See why I like little tile? It's so convenient. Not to mention it has like a ton of features, but you know, that something like Chisels and Bits doesn't have, and it tends to be better on performance as well. It's just a wonderful mod. Just straight up wonderful mod. Do that. It would be those. Let's see. If I had these. And then let me try something here. Let me get some of these. If we ran these out like that, which technically I could put glass pane inside of them too, but I'm not going to, but as an example. How would those line up with that? Not terrible. But this right here, I would probably do, say, like a block, and then a block. This is like the point when I tend to waste a lot of materials just making things with architecture craft and being like, no, maybe not. I mean, of course, we could do something with little tiles, but then you're looking at like a ton of time to do that. So, I tell you what, I think I like this one, the way that's set up. I don't like the worm pillars on these, where it kind of like plugs into the worm pillars. I don't think. So what if, and it would actually save me on materials to some degree. Let me get that again. Let me get like, say, 3 of these. Plus, I'm really bad about making more of things that I've already got. Though I don't think that I've got any of this stuff. I haven't done architecture craft with worm tiles. It's been wedges and things like that that I've done. But if we did... we did this, how would this look? I know it doesn't exactly line up with the way the pillars run on this, but that's not a big deal. I mean, we kind of have that going through. Maybe. Maybe so. There's one other thing I want to try, but I do like those, I think. And then, of course, I could do something on this. Maybe not wedges, but even though wedges would look really good. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't look that great. I really like those, I think. Let me try one thing. Let me pop up and get some stuff. I'm going to throw another stack of iron into this build, and we're going to try... Which one thing I was actually curious about, like if I was to stack these, they really don't look that great. I'd probably be better off doing something with like little tiles than these, but what about the frameless toppers? Because I like the shape on these, but I don't know. Part of me is thinking like we're gonna try something really quick. If I went through, I've got to get a decor area built, like for storage. Not necessarily like drawers or something like that, but just a place to store all my building things, because I'm losing things. I have so many chests sitting around, like various build chests, that I'm starting to lose things. I don't know, part of me is kind of liking that, like a little bit wilder railings. I mean, they don't connect there, but that's okay. It makes them like a little bit different. These actually more mimic the Irithil dungeon, I guess, rails, because they had those tall, like just wild spikes kind of come up, but it's just I got to thinking like the rails that we had were almost too clean, I feel like, and something like this is a little bit wilder. I don't know. I really like that. I really like it. I mean, it makes it a little bit harder for me navigating because I'll have to come out like right here to like quick travel around the area. I don't know. Do not know. Part of me is kind of liking it more. Like the longer it sits here, I do want to try, if we did, say, these. Let me just convert the whole thing. I need to see if they've changed that with architecture, where if you vein mine architecture craft blocks, it will break everything, or if it's maybe fixed to a point where it just breaks one type. Probably still breaks everything, so. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like that, too. I'll be it. Yeah, I think I like that. I just thought some of these are going to be covered, because this kind of comes down. I guess I should go ahead and build out at least one of these so we can see and make some adjustments as needed. Because this is going to come out like that. So that comes down there, and then we've got... yeah, it's going to totally cover that one architecture craft block. But I could have them, you know, every other one would have it. So maybe we just pull that off and do that. Now this one, the edge will be a little bit different because it plugs into that. But of course this one would have the wedge. And then what I would probably do in this case is just maybe just bring this down. Oh, but no, I don't need to do that because we'll have the wedges on the bottom side. Kind of, oh, there's where that cave crawler went. I'll grab, oh, I had a couple. Well, whatever. So that's what I'm talking about. I'll make what I need for like a little thing, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I already had those. So it'd be here. And then over on this side, I have to build me a cobblestone pillar here in a second, just to make this a little bit easier to work with. That. So it'd be like that. And then if I did, because I haven't actually done one of these bottom sections yet, we could do the beveled. So that it kind of lines back up with the next floor. Let me just pop down here. So something like that. Oh yeah, I like that, I think. I think so. I mean, this builds a whole lot of pitstone and a whole lot of betweenstone, but I don't see them, you know, trying to use a bunch of different materials in a prison. I'm worrying about contrast, and I like the way it's turning out. That brown, though, does really contrast with it, I think. I think that's going to be good for us. And then we would have a wedge over on this side. So like that would be the general look to it, and then gargoyle there on top. I don't have any more obsidian, or I'd make one. I have to go farm obsidian. I'd have to go farm materials. I haven't farmed materials since I've been working in here the whole time, pretty much. I mean, I've gotten some iron, and I found a little bit of gold when I dug those little pits down. I noticed I actually have gold spawning It's like 2 or 3 blocks below this point right here. This is Y32. So I haven't seen any gold when I was digging out this section, but I dug down and it was like right in here somewhere was gold. Just right below where I was at. So I can't remember the actual spawn level for gold, but I think that could work for us. And then of course I'll have to do that one and so on, but yeah. So, and I kind of like these. I kind of like these rails. You have to let me know what you think in the comments. But I think I'm really digging this over that because I feel like this is way too clean. It just kept bothering me, and I was like, man, I could do something. Let's say little tiles, or these. The window frames actually do pretty good, like railings. But I think they're still too clean for what I want in this prison. I think that could do it for us. I think so. And yeah, and then I'll have to just build that around. Okay. Oh, that's a big pain out of my way. Now, the other big thing we have to do is do the rails that run down the side of this and figure out how we're going to lay those out. Then, honestly, at that point, I think we're pretty golden. I'll have to do the walls here, but they won't be that hard. I don't think. Just figuring out, like, spacing and if I want to do pillars or how I want to do that, but I think that'll be the worst part. Okay, so we know that we're going to want bitstone tiles. And I want to try something. See, this is what happens whenever I build. My inventory gets terrible really quick. We did these. No. I don't think so. What if I did like that, so it's not so gappy? Uh-huh. Part of me is liking that, actually. And then if we did the... I mean, I'll make some adjustments, but I've got to dump my inventory. Let me, see, this is where I lose my architecture craft blocks. I've got a chest I know up there filled with like a bunch of junk, but I was like, well, I'll clear these out for today, and then basically means I'm gonna go lose these architecture craft blocks real quick. Alright, so I don't think I'm gonna go with the fancy rails because A, they don't look all that great for us, and B, they do hit your FPS pretty hard. So I think what we'll do is we'll go with like these. And I'm going to try... I don't know, it's just still too clean. There's no way I could use these. I really want to use those. Let me see. Because I'm really liking these. You know, but it's going to be awkward unless I do blocks. Which I could do blocks, I guess. I don't think it would be that bad. As long as we shape up the bottom pretty well. I don't think it's going to be too bad to do this. I mean, it's awkward when you're trying to do an actual railing. But when you're doing like these big iron spike walls, you kind of have a little bit more fun with it, I think. That is one thing, as the walls and the stairs start coming together on the different layers, it's gonna make that a whole lot better. Because I can run like support pillars up. I'm thinking like, okay, we run up to here, and then if we did say a support pillar that runs up here, okay, it's looking better, I think. Maybe. I'm gonna work on the bottom of this real quick. Let me deal with all These guys just really like me. I tell you what, we'll never need for real might ever. The rate this is going. But if our pillars came down, like this, and I don't know if I want a pillar on this side. I know this side's a little bit longer coming out, so maybe it does. Let's see, if I did, it would be something like that. Maybe I gotta thicken out the bottoms and make those work out, like of the floor above. And I mean, right now it's got stone behind it, so it's gonna look blah regardless. But I think we could work with that. So what I might do is, let me just add an extra layer on the bottoms of these real quick. And I think realistically this would be supported with the support pillars. Which I don't know if I want to use a different block for those than the pitstone tiles, or just do some little tiles work, or even just, I don't know, adding a wall on the side of it or something. Oh, let's see. This actually could go like that. Then this runs like that. Then this one runs up like that. And I think, let's see you. Which is right down here, by the way. Lots of obsidian to be had. I've got to hit that up to get me some more obsidian made, but something like that. Of course, this is going to need a lot of detail work, but I'm just trying to figure out just a basic design for us. And then on the bottoms here, what I could do, I think I'm going to have it offset a little bit. So maybe I don't know if I want to go with pitstone here. I know it's a lot of pitstone, but it's kind of how this build works. So we did that. I mean, I could do stairs too and probably save. Yeah, let's mix up the pitstone a little bit. So if we instead did that. Actually, let me make some stairs. I'm going to try it with stairs just because that would be a little bit more friendly on my performance if I went with stairs than more wedges, but like mainly FPS performance. But I'm trying to make this place really detailed without also killing FPS, you know. Alright, so we had it maybe run like this. So it still kind of lines up with that wall, but sections of it are offset a little bit. And right now it's really green, but I think once we do this wall and we have a little bit of mud bricks mixed into it, I think it's going to look pretty good. I guess I could do slabs up here too, so that it offsets. Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, so what we could do is we'd remove these stairs and have them start right there. And then the stairs would start back a little bit further here. Could build a cobblestone pillar, but for something like this, it's a little bit easier just to jump and get through it than build through it and then have to pull that up. Though I guess with vein miner it's not too bad. Okay. And this one could go. Which I got to see how that's going to plug up. We'll figure it out on this other side. So, oh, but this ridge comes down. That's actually going to be really, really easy to plug up then. Alright. That does that. And then, oh, but this is going to go back. And I'm kind of thinking if we did something like this, and then maybe just wedge it. Oh, there's Lawnmower Monster. Yeah, and I think it's like, as far as like a basic layout, I think this would work out very well for us. Because it would be kind of like this, like pretend for a second that the wall on the right-hand side and all of the wall down this side is done. But it would be kind of like this, you know. We've got that bit of ceiling there. That's not too ornate or anything. I think it kind of matches nicely with this. And I mean, I'd add a little bit more like detail work, but I don't know. I'm really thinking like we might do some braziers that run off the side of this. I don't know. We'll have some bits that come out the side. I got to figure out, you know, that just kind of is the stuff that just kind of happens as the build comes together. But I'm thinking it could work. Might even bring these up higher. I don't know. But we'll see. We shall see. So, and then I could, let's see, I could remove these two. This one. We can kind of see what this pillar is going to look like in a more finished area. Like that. Which I think works out. And then let's see, I wedged. Okay, I wedged the block after. Because we haven't figured out this far side's setup yet. But then I could comfortably do this. And then this would, you know, kind of follow that pattern going up. I think that's going to work for us. But you guys have got to let me know if you like these iron bars in place of the ones we had before. I think it makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, more like a prison. I think these maybe were just too clean. They, you know, it's not a big change that I have to do. I just run through with a chisel and fix them. Whereas these are just a little bit more like, I don't know, gritty, I think. I mean, I could do something really fancy with little tiles, but the thing is you kind of have to find a balance between using little tiles or using things that maybe are a little bit more performance friendly as far as FPS goes, and then also not going to take the rest of your life to do. So I think these could do that. I think they work out pretty well. So you have to let me know what you think down in the comments if we should switch to these iron bars. I think I'm kind of liking them. Okay, I edited down the footage, and it looks like it's actually about wrapping up point. But we got to walk through a build. I usually have a lot of requests about walking through a build and how I figure things out and stuff. So you guys got a little taste of that today. I know it's not for everybody, but that's why these are builder episodes. So I do have to get this bottled up, bucketed up into a tank at this point, because this section here needs to go, and that way I can bring everything down. And you can see I did hit gold right here. So I should be able to mine resources for the next progression episode while clearing out for this prison. At this point, as I dig it down, which is gonna, basically it's 2 parts to 1 stone, which is always nice. I do have to go dump my chests again because I have filled up all these chests with stuff at this point. But whenever I do that, I'm going to try to take a minute and just organize my architecture craft blocks, because I empty out the chest, take everything upstairs and put it into drawers and stuff, and that's when I lose everything, usually. But I did get this top section raised up and opened up a little bit, so we can start building up here and then down below. And getting these next two layers done. I think this will probably be the top layer, and then it's just going to go pretty much down to bedrock layer almost, where the final floor is going to be, I think. And then, like I said, I think we'll have this bridge and maybe one more, down below it, maybe on like the second floor up, or something like that. Or if you're in Europe, the first floor, but in the U.S. it'll be the second floor. So, but yeah, I think this will be good. We got we didn't quite get to everything that I wanted to do this episode, but we did get very important stuff done, because now I can figure out, like, the layout's there, so we can pretty much just build out this prison at this point, because aside from the bottom floor and doing the ceiling right up there, everything is pretty much here. It's the templates here, more or less, and then I can just run through and I'll do the pit stone and between stone, and then follow up with all the mud brick farming, which I'm actually about to go farm mud bricks, because I need to do the ceilings on this all the way down through here. And then I need to hit this floor with a little bit of detail work, which actually doesn't take all that long because it's open blocks paths. Bulb cap mushrooms I'm getting low on. I wanted to get into farming those this episode, but we didn't have time. And then we need vibrant journeys, bones, and just some miscellaneous mushrooms, and then maybe a skull here and there, a barrel here and there, or some statues here and there. So, but I do have to farm more tar drips. I might catch a tar base for the mob duplicator though, just so, because our barrels take tar drips, and I'm out of them, and I don't want to have to keep farming them just to make decorative barrels. So I might get us a tar base for in here. But yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna end out this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got to get through a bit. Actually, as far as footage, I had an hour and about 40 minutes where I was working on basically just this little bit. It is time consuming, but to get it all figured out. But I'm really happy with it. You'll have to let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. Does it look all right? Does it look good? And then about the bars, I'm still on the fence about them. No pun intended. I'm still on the fence about them, because I like the way they look more than the clean bars, but I like the view with the clean bars more. You know what I mean? Like, this kind of obscures my view. This is a little bit more open. So you have to let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm torn. I'm really, really torn about them. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you then.